If I asked you how to play like Lionel Messi, you would probably instantly talk about his dribbling, passing and finishing. But what about those overlooked attributes that are the real reason as to why Messi was not only able to break out as one of the best young players of all time, but also helped him to evolve his game further to become arguably the best player of all time with the tactical help of Pep Guardiola? Being Argentine, especially with a mop of dark hair, there was only going to be one comparison to Diego Maradona, and it certainly suited the narrative that Messi was short in stature, didn't appear to have a lot going for him physically, but was resilient in the tackle, and was intense in his dribbling and could score plenty of goals. To be Messi, you must be a number of things. First and foremost, you must be versatile, but Messi wasn't always a player that he would eventually become. With age, experience and a big reputation, he has learned that if he can find and create enough space, a ball will come to him, and that's when the magic can happen. Right now, and towards the back end of his career, he hasn't really played in any one position, mostly given a free role, but when he started his career he was utilised as a left footer from the right flank. His build or lack thereof didn't fall ball, and his diminutive stature is one of the paramount reasons for this metronomic ability. It allowed him to take almost any hit that came his way in a tough tackling Spanish league in the mid 2000s, and there was certainly a lot coming his way. To be Messi, you must be resilient, but he would also help change how the game was played with the aid of Pep Guardiola, who became Barcelona manager in 2008. Up until then, Messi was often characterised as a tricky winger with incredible skill, tact and a key eye for goal. Barcelona's history demanded beautiful soccer, sure, but they hadn't quite ascended to legendary status just yet. The components were all there, however, namely Xavi and Iniesta, but when Guardiola completed the puzzle by promoting Sergio Busquets, it unlocked the whole team. And that is a massive factor. In order to be Messi, you do need a technically gifted midfield behind you who can dominate possession and get the ball into your feet in dangerous positions. But you also need players ahead of you who can provide those runs in behind to not just offer you options, but also stretch the pitch and the opposition's back line to create space for you between the lines. And this setup allowed for some beautiful 1 and 2 touch soccer designed to dazzle the opposition before the killer blow, and it usually was Messi on the end of it. He'd use his teammates as almost a backboard. He'd never really pass the ball, only lend it to them to then receive it again. Drifting in field from the right flank, it seemed like no one could stop him. He combined his greatest abilities of his insane ball control, his low centre of gravity, but also his ability to link play with his teammates, to almost glide through opposition defensive structures. And in his peak, Messi scored 91 goals in a single year back in 2012. Going back to the versatility, however, he could score from almost every feasible situation. Just as he could bamboozle defenders with his 1 and 2 touch passing or his incredible close ball control, he steadily began to master his shooting ability, whether it was finishing inside of the box with a composed finish or from set piece scenarios. Curled towards the near post, back across to the far post, under the wall, Messi was the Swiss Army knife of the free kick, and he remains the highest scoring free kick taker in active soccer today. And this mostly came from practice and dedication because he wasn't always this good at free kicks. But eventually he would get to the point where he was converting 20% of his set pieces, an absolutely insane stat. Although Messi had all but completed club soccer by winning the treble of 2009, his game changed for the better in 2010, when Guardiola ditched Zlatan Ibrahimovic and implemented what he believed was the future of soccer. Lionel Messi was deployed as a false 9, and it not only changed his career, but it changed the sport. False 9s had been used here and there throughout the history of the game, but now with the influence of Guardiola, Messi had now made it a prominent role in the game. It foreshadowed the remainder of his career as well. He'd drop in to help his midfielders by creating overloads, as if they were participating in a training session that consisted of a 90-minute rondo. And because this deeper movement towards the midfield was unusual for a centre forward, often opposition centre backs were in two minds about whether to stay and allow Messi the space in behind their midfield, or follow him into this deeper area, leaving space in the centre of the defensive line for the likes of Pedro and David Villa to make diagonal runs into. And this is where Messi's awareness and high soccer IQ came into play. He would almost instinctively know where he should be, dropping off and finding space to receive the ball as though it was his sixth sense. And this may arguably be one of the most important traits that you need to develop in order to be anything like Messi. As well as his dribbling ability and his shooting made him an elite level player, it was his intelligence on the pitch which made him arguably the best of all time. And so in order to be Messi, first of all you have to be a freak of nature, but in order to play anything like he does, you need not just his shooting and finishing ability, his close ball control, his dribbling, his interplay with his teammates, alongside the soccer IQ and spatial awareness to find space when you need it, but you also need the technical ability and the vision and the eye for a pass, as it's not just his goal scoring and ball progression via his dribbling which made Messi so complete. It was his passing and in particular his ability to create chances for others which took his level to the stratosphere. But ultimately, I think if you want to be like Messi, it does come down to your goal scoring, as Messi had multiple tools in his armoury. His shots could be ferocious, as it was in the 2011 Champions League final against Manchester United, or they could be subtle, like dinks over the keeper, as seen in the same competition against the likes of Arsenal, Real Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen. And so simply, if you want to be like Messi, you have to be a complete player, having everything you need that a footballer could have in your locker. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, check out some other others, and subscribe to the channel as well for more videos like this.